The foundation of rule of law in this country was rocked by the revelation of a failed plot by the State Security Service to frame the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria for terrorism financing. We have now seen, we on the legal activism part of the coalition that made the press conference yesterday, we have now seen copy and certified true copy of the ruling of His Lordship, Honorable Justice J.T. Soho, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. And the ruling was made on the night of December 2022. We have a certified true copy of that ruling now. And the said application was filed by the State Security Service on the 7th of December 2022. First of all, you see how the drama is going on in this country. This country has been reduced to a stage where people come to act all manner of drama for their selfish and personal interest, particularly those that see themselves to be above the law. Now we're asking a very pertinent question. We must condemn this, we must commend the exceptional courage and gallantry, boldness, wisdom, forthrightness, erudition, bravery, and conduct of His Lordship for not allowing himself to be intimidated. We are talking about the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. For not allowing himself to be intimidated and harassed by the SSS, as they set out to do. We draw this conclusion because how else could the SSS file an application before the court and not attach any form of evidence in support of their averment in their affidavit, that's in their ex parte application? In the ruling of His Lordship, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, His Lordship stated clearly that the entire affidavit deposition, especially paragraph 4 of the supporting affidavit, purport that preliminary investigation has reviewed various acts of terrorism financing, fraudulent activities perpetrated by the respondent, and his involvement in financial crime of national security dimension. These are no doubt grave allegations, but which the applicant has not presented any concrete evidence in support in the application before the Federal High Court. Furthermore, the SSS in their application, the SSS must have known that they do not have any credible evidence against the CBN governor, but for political pecuniary reasons, they insisted on turning the rule of law upside down. Otherwise, what could be the possible reason President Muhammadu Buhari would not have been informed of such grave allegation of terrorism financing against the central bank governor when the president was in the country and in the same city of Abuja, the same day the ex parte application was filed? That is the 7th of December 2022. The president was in the country. He was never informed that there is a terrorism allegation against the man in charge of our central bank, and the man also traveled with the president a day later or 2 days later. Look at how they have reduced this country to a zoo. Again, while noting this point, Justice Soho stated, the respondent in this application is named Godwin Emefiele, without any disclosure of his status. They just deceitfully said Godwin Emefiele, maybe to deceive the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court to grant the order, without saying this is the man presiding over the affairs of the Central Bank of Nigeria. No disclosure as to his status in the averment made by the DSS. They merely state his name in the application, Godwin Emefiele, to tell you that ab initio, the foundation of what they are doing is illegality and nothing but illegality and criminality. The people that are supposed to secure the nation, they are the ones perpetrating illegality and criminality. As the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court stated, listen by yourself. The CTC of the ruling is here. I'll make it available to the gentlemen of the press. The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court stated, the respondent in this application is named Godwin Emefiele without any disclosure of his status or position anywhere. In a country in the 21st century, without any disclosure of his status and position. Not even in an affidavit. it is left to speculation if Godwin Emefiele is the same person as the serving governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. This is contained in the rule of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. How come we reducing this country to animal farm, where pigs and hyena are made prey to lions and other cats? Again, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Piedmont, if it is then he is unarguably a high-ranking public official in Nigeria, and indeed occupies a sensitive position as one of the key drivers of the national economy. This is what the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court is saying. If it is the same person, they find a speculative application, leaving it to the discretion of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court to speculate whether the same Godwin Emefiele they are filing this case against is the same Godwin Emefiele that is presiding over the affairs of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Then the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court now said, therefore, an application of this kind should have evidence of approval of the respondent's boss, that is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that such measures are authorized to be taken. I, however, do not find any such evidence in this instant application, whereas it is necessary procedure in the observance of rule of law. The above citation from the ruling of the erudite Chief Judge of the Federal High Court also further buttresses the fact that the SSS plan on intimidating the judge that will hear the application, but their plot failed woefully, thanks to the uncommon bravery of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. By this single act, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court has clearly held up the torch of independence of the judiciary very high, that the world cannot see its brightness. He has restored the dignity of the judiciary, which has severally been attacked by the State Security Service, and asserted that indeed the judiciary is the last standing bastion of our democracy. Furthermore, Justice Soho lambasted the impunity of the State Security Service when he stated, and I quote in his ruling, it therefore seems that the applicant intends to use this court as a cover for an irregular procedure, which is unacceptable. Very unacceptable. Very unacceptable. That is a common bravery. The SSS knew what they are doing. They knew that what they were doing was wrong, yet they barefacedly approached the court to authorize their impunity. I'm not saying it. I'm telling you what is contained in the ruling of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. They knew ab initio that the foundation of the application is wrong, and they filed it to intimidate the judge, and the judge refused it. He also went further to say that it is on the basis of the above and thereafter, and after thoroughly analyzing the entire ruling and the circumstances of it, that the Center for Justice found no other option than to join mountain call for the immediate sack of the Director General of the State Security Service, Mr. Yusuf Bichi, from office, to serve as a deterrent for any person in government contemplating to undermining the authority of the President and the rule of law. It must be stated that the CBN cash withdrawal limit would help Nigeria conduct free, fair, and credible 2023 election. It will take away cash from the hands of politicians who wants to buy our votes, and we support that. We want a credible election, and our president has assured us that he will give us a credible election. In fact, I usually watch on the social media and share where the president was saying Nigerians vote presidential candidate of your choice across party line. Personally, I share that video by President Muhammadu Buhari, and this is what they want to thwart. These politicians want to buy our votes and compromise the electoral officials and security agents, and will make the rigging of the election a lot more difficult, if not impossible. That is one of the intentions and one of the intendments of the CBN policy of cash withdrawal. It is very astonishing how the state security would so audaciously fight against a policy of a government which is intended to make its work easier, better, and more effective. The cash limit policy will limit banditry and kidnapping, or where it occurs, make it a lot easier to counter. Nigerians are indeed disappointed that despite national uproar, Mr. Bichi has still refused to resign, despite having been exposed and has desecrated his office. He just has to leave. It has become clear that with this latest revelation that he is now more a politician than a security agent. And I wish to add clearly that if democracy operates on rule of law, everybody is equal and nobody is above the rule of law. We must not continue to have people in position of authority who believe and see themselves to be above the law. Bichi, the DG of DSS, should honorably resign from office and save himself from the shame of what happened and what transpired at the Federal High Court, where he has now used the State Security Service as an agent of politicians to thwart a policy that the president himself, the president that appointed him, the policy the president himself endorsed and flagged off. He's now using his authority as the DG of the DSS to thwart that policy. He should honorably resign. If not, the president should immediately relieve him from the office. He is grossly incompetent to continue as the DG of DSS. If you have any question,